Hi everyone. Hello. Thank you guys so much for waiting. I'm just going through the chat and I'm seeing some cool comments, especially like Shibu. We were now waiting for 40 people or 50 people to join, and we were just waiting for our live like there was a couple of like network issues that we were facing. So we were just setting up the whole live, and it's a new location, it's a new place, internet connectivity, everything. There's a whole lot of things that is happening in the background, and we need to just make sure that okay, we give whatever we giving it out to you guys, it's all perfect, all clear, so that it's all good for you guys. So we are coming live today, this Saturday morning. The weather report in Waterloo, it's raining. It's not the best, but but it's good. It's good climate. At least there's no snow.
Let's ask them what's the weather in your
Yeah,
location.
let us know where you guys joining in from. So we love to know where you're joining us from, where you're being part of us for the live, so that we'll be like, okay, there are people like from this like far places who are joining in the live as well. So that'll be an honor. That'll be great for us. That makes us even feel good. So make sure you do that. Also, we have left the chat box open for you guys to ask any questions, anything related to this new home care support pilot program that's going to be launched on the 31st of March. So there's a whole lot of news, a lot of questions we've been getting, like questions in regards with, am I eligible, is my work, is like, how many months should I work, is my hours correct, so many questions that keeps coming up. So we're going to answer all those questions. So make sure if you have any questions, do put in the chat. Please don't spam the messages. We want to make sure we get to each and every one of them. If there are a couple of repeated questions, we might skip it because we must have answered it in the live ad. So we want to make sure that we give we take time to answer all of your questions. All right. So Vishnu, I think that's all the introduction that's needed.
Yeah.
Let's start.
And let's start the session now.
So we have people joining in from Calgary, Saskatoon. We are from Barrie, Brantford. We have Ruan joining in from Etobicoke. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. So let's begin. Vishnu, can you brief us? What is this whole home care support pilot program?
Okay, so home care pilot program. The first and most important thing to understand is that it's not something new. It's been from years. Every year there is some new regulation, policies get changed in this, and again every year this comes. So if someone is there who's thinking that okay, I may not able to get into it because I'm still studying, or if someone is there who's thinking that okay, oh no, I cannot able to make this time, don't worry, this will open next time too. But there are a few things which need to keep in mind. The first and most important thing is this is not for the knock code, which usually right now we'll look into the category based express entry draw. You are looking into PNP. Most of the international student or immigrant are targeting around 33102 or 44102.
Social.
This one is not for that. So if you are working in that, unfortunately, yeah, you can able to take an experience from it. But if you wanted to apply under this particular program, you have to be under 44100, that is a child care. And the second one is 44101. This is a home care worker. So it's basically a tier 4. Another thing is the employer. So once again, the employer, this time, CIC yet not released a lot of information about it, but those information which we have got from a long past few years, that is something which we are going to be explaining you today. That first thing is, yes, the private families can be the employer, even the agencies can be your employer, but now point is that they have to give you a offer letter under this particular knock code where you are taking care of a particular individual where for the long term. So very important thing to understand is it's not like okay, if you have a baby or you have a elderly parents who's a PR, everyone get qualified. Now there is a limit that okay, the income requirement. So just logically, that legally it's already been there. Last year it was 80,000 around. If your family income is, then you can get qualified. But now again, it depends upon your family size. If 80,000 income is there and the person have a family of 5, for example, already the husband, wife, and there are 3 kids. 80,000 will not sustain, because now if you're hiring an employee which is gonna take care of your baby or your elderly parents, at least with minimum wage, if we are looking in Ontario, if we say that 1720, like 1750, just keep that. Right now it's not explained that what's the wage requirement or what all things need to be there in the documentation. But still, at least if we keep a minimum wage also, the family has to pay around 30,000 Canadian dollars per year. So now, if your family income is there and you are having surplus income where you can able to justify the CIC that yes, I am eligible to pay the particular employee if I'm hiring that for the family, then only it will work. Because I'm seeing that each person who is holding a PR at this point, somehow they wanted to become an employer for their own family or for money. One thing very important to understand, not everyone will qualify. If you are going through a family, you need to look into their income requirement, that whether they have that kind of income, surplus income where they can able to pay you. Last and most important thing too, which the reason why I made this video is that the recent update that applications are very limited to 2,750 application this time. Trust me, I don't even think that it will be open for hours. It may get closed very soon. Because now 3 categories of people are there. One who understand that okay, I need to have this document. Second is someone who are missing few documents. But there are third category who may not even get qualified, but they just try to put their application in. So if you're looking into 2,750 applications, or even like the round figure it for 2,500 or 3,000 application, I can say that at least 25% of the individuals will be submitting an application which would be incomplete application. And then there will be rest 25% who may go under the scrutiny and may get refused. So even though the application numbers are there, kindly I request every CAN family member that look into, because again, the documentation which we are going to explain you today is something based upon the previous year's home care pilot program. It's still not confirmed what are the requirements from employer, okay, what exactly, how to apply, what are the conditions, how long the commitment would be. Because once again, think about, once again, legally it's already there that okay, you need to have a 2-year commitment. Till last year it was there. But is this year, it is coming. It definitely not that, okay, you're working as an engineer, okay, or otherwise you're working as a 422-101 knock code, or 33109 knock code, or 33102 knock code. It's not just you get offer letter, you get your PR and you say that yeah, I'm going back to my previous job. Not possible. This is basically a commitment based application where you need to stick with the employer at least for 2 to 3 years, or at least until the decision comes. 2024, 2023, I know applications which still not got a PR. So they cannot able to work under any other employer. Yes, if you're on open work permit, you can work on multiple places, but still you need to maintain 30 hours per week with the same employer who's giving you the job offer until you get a PR. And after that, depending upon the condition, you may still need to work for them for a long period. These are few things which again we are going to be explaining in details. But if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, comment below. We are trying to start our question and answer session now. Let's start.
All right, I know, like while you were just explaining on the whole program itself, a lot of like questions just arose, like for me, out of like curiosity, like a couple of things, like, you know, how many months should you be working under this particular program, or like what I like when you say the knock codes, like can you explain what exactly the knock codes are? You just mentioned the numbers, like
okay, knock code is 44100. This is basically childcare. And 44101.
Okay.
Only these 2 knock codes are getting qualified.
So then, what about people who have who work in these retirement homes under like I've seen a lot of people asking that, you know, they're working as a personal support worker, social support worker, and all these positions. So will they be eligible in this program?
They will be eligible because again they have a direct experience or direct education. So even if someone just studied PSW but currently working in an office admin position, even that person is getting qualified this time, because CIC just made it very simple that okay, you don't even need to have an experience.
Okay.
But now the point is, you need to get an offer letter specifically under the 44100 or 44101 knock code. You cannot take an offer letter as a PSW or a social service worker. So now it all depends upon that what kind of offer letter you are getting. Even though you are from different health background or education background or early childhood background, you are eligible, but your offer letter need to be having this particular knock codes.
Okay. All right. A couple of questions, Vishnu. I think one of the questions, I'll start off with questions because there's, I'll keep adding my questions as well, because I've been getting a lot of questions over like social media, like people have been reaching out to the office and been asking a couple of questions. So I'll involve it, but let's start one by one. So Shiju has a question to you, Vishnu, that he's currently been working as a home support worker under the knock code 44101 for the last from Feb 25th onwards. Training, he's received all his training and practical for just 3 weeks, and he's working full-time as a full-time employee. Will he be eligible for this program?
So now, the Shiju, the important question to you is that what is your background, what you have studied? Because if you have not from the direct healthcare background like nursing, PSW, early childhood care educator, unfortunately you are not getting qualified. It's very important to understand that one of the eligibility requirement is that 6 months either training, education or direct experience under the direct care to the child or the elderly care. So only those individuals get qualified. So even though if a person is there, like I just gave an example, you studied PSW, you studied nursing from back home, but you came here, but now you're working in a IT sector. That is fine. In within last 3 years, if you have a 6 months of experience, you can able to put that in and you can able to put the application in with a proper offer letter.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Saibu. He has a question. Is it mandatory to stay for this program for 2 years after getting the PR? If so, would enrolling in a university program affect my eligibility?
So now again, the point is, if you go into this particular program and you put your application, it's under the assessment. If your work permit is about to expire, or even if you are on a out of status, like you are on a visitor record, you can still able to eligible, and then you are like, again, this is something which I'm talking with a previous experience or previous year's application process. You are eligible to get a close work permit with the same employer for next 2 years. But again, the condition is that you have to stick with that employer. Even if you have an open work permit, still you need to stick with the same employer, because again, you are giving that commitment that yes, I do have an offer letter, I'm working with this employer. So if your application under process, anytime the CIC can ask you to prove that you're working under the same NOC code. I have seen application getting refused and going under the procedural fairness in 2022, 2023 also, where they put an application that, okay, I got an offer letter from this particular employer, but later on after 1 year, when they started to processing your application, when they asked the person, say that, no, I'm not working with the same employer, and the CIC officer say that, no, the intention is not pure, they refuse the application. So kindly note, if your employer is genuine, he's paying you good, and there is no other way to get a PR, then this process is really good. But again, if there is anything like you're paying to the employer, you are not feeling to that, okay, working with this employer because your wage is not good, try not to go into this, because I have seen application get refused and people who just based upon this particular program left nowhere because their work permit is expired, they cannot able to apply for the extension, and in that scenario, it's very bad situation. And one of the common thing which I would like to tell, which is again one of the major reason of doing this live session, is many of the students believe that, okay, I will apply for every stream. So even if it come under express entry, you say, yeah, I will apply for that. Now it come for PNP, I will apply for that. Now it come for home care, I will apply for that.
Do like have multiple applications?
Multiple applications. And now the point is, like I said, we did a lot of videos on that, but let me explain. There is something called as digital tracking or digital footprint. And second is, whatever application you submit to the CIC have a record of that. So for example, now you recently submitted your TRV application, or you submitted your spousal open work permit application, and you said that, okay, you have an experience under 33109, because now only 33102, for example, PSW, to get a spousal open work permit, and now suddenly you are putting the application under this, saying that, okay, I do have 44101 NOC code.
All of a sudden, you just change your experience.
Yes. So now the point is, the misrepresentation is right on there, because you put one application with different NOC code, now different application with a different NOC code. CIC just going to ask you that, okay, your previous application says you have working under this NOC code, current application saying you're working this NOC code. You potentially you're going into the misrepresentation if you don't prove the proper NOC codes. Now think about, if you say, no, I'm working in 33109, you are getting misrepresented on current application. If you say that, no, I'm working under 44101, then you are getting misrepresented on the previous application. So it's a very tricky situation. Like I said, not many people think about this kind of thing, because now we are living in an era where every immigrant and every international student, I understand everyone want to get a PR, but think logically and take a legal advice before you jump into, because right now when I'm opening my Instagram, the first thing I'm seeing is everyone will get a PR.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like, man, think about, like, there are express entry, which is taking around thousands of applications. There is PNP, which is taking thousands of applications. And still the quota is getting filled so fast. And just 2,750 application, which is there, what's the hope? But yes, if you have fulfilling all the requirement, I'm going to explain about the documentation also, which we used in last year, so that you can able to prepare those documents and try to apply. But let's take the next question.
Okay, follow-up question to that, Vishnu. What if you're currently working in one of the employers, and now that the employer goes bankrupt, or now that they're not wanting to hire you anymore, right? And the process is going on. What happens to people, all the applications that's going then?
Same thing what happened with the PNP, AIP, Rural Community Pilot Program, REDI, or any kind of applications in Canada which is employer dependent. So except Express Entry, if you go through any other application, majority of application are employer specific.
Okay.
That employer is recommending you to get a PNP or community recommendation, then you get a PR. If your employer is not supporting, automatically, even if like a day before your COPR, you resigned from the job or you got terminated or your employer is now bankrupt.
Yeah.
If CIC come to know about that, unfortunately, I have seen applications getting refused, even the COPR getting refused. So once again, be very specific when you're going with a private family, because one of the example which I will give you is in 2022, there was one case came to me where the person applied for the application with paying a huge amount. Again, they have paid around $35,000 for a family to support for a childcare program. They brought it here. So again, they have applied for all the application and everything. It took around 8 to 9 months for the person to come here.
Oh, like a straight outland
Outland application. So the person came to Canada on closed work permit. The person was working. Now suddenly the family demanded for extra 15,000 to run the payroll. Because again, the family is saying that no, we cannot able to pay you this much of amount because there is an accountant fee, there is a payroll taxes and everything. And now they are in situation where they are feeling that they got cheated. But now the point is, if they feel that they got cheated, technically that's a responsibility of the client, that they let them cheat you. You didn't understand that when you are getting an employer through an agent or you're a third party, they don't take any liabilities on this. So why you wanted to even go through that way where you're taking too much of risk? So once again, if it is a renowned employer like Bayshore, Paramed, where you're taking one-on-one care with the client, yes, you can able to look into the particular knock code. If, again, let me make it very specific, if you don't have any other option to get a PR, but if you're already under the PNP or if you're already under the Express Entry healthcare draw, try not to jeopardize your other better probability application just for the sake that no, somehow I just wanted to put an application.
What about people who have already created an Express Entry profile and under the healthcare, and now they're planning to create a profile for the the home support care program? Is it a good option? Is it not?
You can, but the point is now when you created your Express Entry profile, you're saying that you have an experience as a 33102 or 42201. Okay, that's a social worker. But now suddenly you're saying that no, my 42201 becomes now 44101.
Yeah.
So you understand the difference is that you suddenly in one application where you're looking into Express Entry healthcare, you have a different knock code, and now in this you have a different knock code. You get picked up. Now think about which is the fastest way. For example, in Express Entry, if you get an invitation, the processing time within Canada is around 2 to 5 months. Outland, it's around like 4 to 6 months. But if you're looking into an application for the home care, it's like around 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you may get into a closed work permit, everything, but if employer is not genuine, you are spending money on a payroll and you are always having that risk. And trust me, you will feel sometime that the employer is abusing you, because now employer has no legal liability. Employer will say that no, I don't need this person, you're going back. And again, those people who are sponsoring you or getting you the offer letter are already the PR or citizen. You are the temporary resident. So once again, yes, you can go with legal battle, you can do a claim and other things, but think about why you want to take unnecessary stress if you have better pathways.
That's good. I mean, yeah, make sure if you have already created a profile, like make sure you do all the knockouts so that you don't get the misrepresentation, because CIC will come to listen. Naam patna.
It happens.
All right. Okay. Let's go ahead, Vishnu. So we have another question. I have an NVQ3 certificate for caregiving. Is there any requirement for getting a WES attestation?
So yes. So the condition is that you need to do at least a high school education. So now if you have studied degree from back home, you came here and you now doing a PG course or masters. So if you did masters, you don't need to do WES. But if you did a PG certificate course, again, you can put an explanation letter that, okay, you did a course which required after degree. But to be making your application 100% safe, put a WS or put your IQS or ICS, because now these are the basic requirements. Like I said, I'm gonna disclose like a lot of information about the documentation also, which not many people talk about. But one of the thing is having the West, because now, yes, you can put that, okay, you have masters in Canada, you did a certificate program which required at least a degree from back home, but the CIC officer is the ultimate god right now. If he feel that, no, I don't believe that you have 12th or you didn't prove that, okay, you are getting a refusal on the application or incomplete application where it may come after 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
And that time period, if your work permit is about to expire, trust me, it's not a
best-
good, it's
best
not a good news.
All right. I think this is one of the most asked questions over the social media, over messages, is that can I consider 2 year like two part-time experience? Can we consider 2 part-time experience for this pilot program?
Yeah, you can. So it just needs 6 months of experience. And like I said, it doesn't even need an experience. So let me just make it a little bit simple for you guys, okay? If you look into regulation, this 2025 home care pilot program, not even asking you to have an experience. I don't know why all the international students or the immigrants are running behind the experience where it is not even a requirement. If you did a 6 months of training, which is a proper training, like you did nursing, you did PSW course properly 6 months, more than 6 months program, and you did a nursing from back home, or you did a ECA course in Canada, you don't even need to have an experience. But yes, if you are not from the medical background, which is again, it's very rare to have that without having a studies. Right now, you cannot do a PSW.
Okay.
So anyhow, I believe that everyone who is working working as a PSW to show the experience definitely have an education background or a training, which is more than enough as of now.
Okay. That's good. And is 42201 eligible for this pathway?
No. So now the point is, I would say eligible to show your experience, but your offer letter need to be under the 44101 or 44100. So once again, it's not about that, okay, you are working with for example, with a hospital, or you're working with a long-term care, you're working under 33102 PSW. You cannot able to get an offer letter from there under 33102 to apply this. It's very specific to say that you need an offer letter. So even though you have from the medical background, you need to have an offer letter, unconditional, no end date or a contract base, and it has to be under the NOC code with the duties of 44100 or 44101 only.
Okay, let's go to another question. I'm working under, before that, is retirement homes eligible for this program?
Yes. But now the point is 44101. That is basically that NOC code which can resemble to the retirement home. But now the point is that there is no one-on-one care with the client, because retirement home is technically, I don't know whether you guys know about it. I'm a registered nurse in Canada. I can understand, like when the CIC officer would be the same level that, okay, if you're going through group home, there can be a 44101 NOC code. Okay. Retirement home 44101, possible, but it depends upon, okay, what kind of clients they are dealing with. Because mostly in retirement home, people are there who are taking care of themselves. They just need here and there some assistance, that's all. Those people who need care, that directly go to the long-term care or the nursing home. So now, yes, the retirement home can be, but once again, it depends upon the offer letter you are getting. And like I said, there need to be unconditional full-time offer letter. Full-time is very important, because I see that most of the health institution in Canada, they don't offer full-time title, because now if they offer you a full-time title, you are entitled for a lot of insurances and a lot of benefits. So again, if it is possible, you can try to get it under 44101, but it depends upon the offer letter which you are getting, and depending upon whether they are giving one-on care with the clients.
Okay. All right. Next question. I'm working under a private home care program employer since the last 9 months, but but this person, like Liam, is not sure if that is if that 9 months is under which NOC code. Is my offer letter in my offer letter is mentioned I'm a personal care assistant. Am I eligible?
So now the point is, what's your name?
Liam.
Okay, so Liam, one of the most important thing is that NOC code is something based upon your duties. It's not based upon the title. I'm trying to explain this from past 1 or 2 years, but now let me just make it very clear. even though you're working as a personal care aide, you're working as a caregiver, or you are even working as a PSW, still you can go under the 44101 knock code. It depends upon your duties. So you need to look into your duties, you need to match it with the 44101 knock code. If both things match and your employer is having the financial stability to offer you the offer letter, definitely then it would be good.
All right. Mitra has a question for you, Vishnu. Hi, I'm a nurse in background and currently working as a PSW in long-term care home. I am permanent part-timer with getting full-time hours. Am I eligible to apply for it?
Hi Mitra. Seeing a nurse in Canada, I feel very happy. But like I just mentioned before, it need a full-time job offer letter. Part-time, working for full-time, yeah, it will be work for express entry, but it's not going to work for this particular stream.
Okay, I'm working in a group home and my knock code is 42201, but my job duties match 44101. Will I be eligible?
Now the point is, what's the name?
Joel.
Joel. Hi Joel. So it's not possible. Let me just make it clear. The group home, when you say that you're working as a 42201, it's basically going under where you're doing a lot of recording, reporting, recreational activity and activities with the client for their well-being. Whereas the 44101 knock code, it's basically like a caregiver, that how we say back home, like mama, like that's what kind of, like in North India it's called mama, in South India it's called nanny. So basically in a hospital when you go, there is nurse and there is one person who just take care of the clients, like cleaning the bed sheet, like changing, providing the bedpan. That kind of duties are something which comes with the 44101. So going from social worker title to the 44 knock code, practically not possible. But yes, if your employer is supportive, definitely. But let me ask you one thing. If you have a degree, you are having a 42201 knock code, even if you don't have an experience from back home, try to get 1 year of experience here in Canada and try to get into healthcare based express entry draw, because now in that the last draw was 463. If you get 8777 with a degree back home, 1 or 2 years of study in Canada, and having a 1 year of experience inside Canada with a CLB 9, you're sitting around 467 points, which is way more positive, or probability will be higher rather than going with this stream where right now you're forging your document or you're forcing your employer to change the knock code. And if you show that, if for example you put that application, okay, but now you got refusal. Now again you go to express entry and you say that now I'm working as a 42201. You are looking into a misrepresentation. I really don't want that to happen to any international student, so be careful.
All right, Vishnu, we have I was just thinking, you had mentioned that, this happens every 5 years, like in the last 5 years, it has been happening every year repetitively. So now that if suppose someone keeps an application this time and they get a rejection because of like misrepresentation or something, can they apply for the next year when they do it, or is that going to be on the record for CSC, under CSC?
Two things. The misrepresentation is a huge word, okay? It's not, don't take it just like, okay, they did like our document, they refused. When you get misrepresentation, you get 5-year bans. No agent or immigration firm or like anyone inside Canada, if they are signing up for this, not even talking about this particular thing. But again, if you get misrepresentation, you will be banned. You will be banned from Canada for 5 years. And again, you cannot able to put any other application. But if you go with like, if just a refusal, then definitely you can able to put application next year.
All right, we have a question from Nebu. He has asked, should I provide the employment letter with my application, or should I wait for the IRCC to ask for the supporting documentation?
Okay, you should provide the application. When you submit your application, I'm going to explain you the documentation very soon. But one of the form, which is like one of the few of the documents which is required, is the reference letter, which need to have your title, your duties, the wage from when you are working there, and who's the signing officer. But other than that, there is a form which is there is a form IMM 5910. I repeat, there is a form IMM 5910. This is basically a form which can used to prove that you have a similar experience under the same knock code before. So it is IMM form which you need to hand sign and which you can include with your application. This is one of the important piece of document which again used last year. This year it can be changed, but keep this form ready with you, which is IMM 5910. Just Google it, you will able to find that form.
All right, Vishnu, a lot of people are actually confused with the whole term of like which position or which place is like the right place to work, because some people are working in retirement homes, people are working in private homes, some people are working in hospitals, and they're getting confused with this whole technicality of these terms used for like locations. So can you tell me which locations or which kind of places are eligible? Like in a sense, I'm pretty sure people working in a hospital. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Employer will not support.
Yeah, employer might not be, because it's not going to be a personal care support, right? So can you tell me what kind of like employers or what kind of working in which all locations can you be eligible for this
So
program?
first and most important is the private families. They are 100% qualified. But again, the condition is that the private families, family income need to be surplus to pay the particular employee where they are supporting. Second one is group home. Third one is a long-term care. And fourth one can be a nursing home. Retirement home, I'm not seeing too much, because once again, like I said, one-on-one care need to be there. So I try to avoid that particular institution. But other than that, if you go through long-term care, if you go through like a group home, especially the group home in private, 102%, we did a lot of applications from there year before, like 2022, 2023. But after that, we are not taking any of the application, because once again, the applications are getting strict every year. This year, I know even if I take 2 applications, there is no guarantee. So again, if there is no 95% more than probability of the PR approval, I don't even want to touch the application. But the short answer question is, families would be the best bet for you if the family's income is good, where above the family they have a 30,000 or 40,000 income, which they have claimed in notice of assessment in the family income. Second, group homes. Third one is the long-term care, and fourth one is a nursing home. These four are, and yeah, definitely agencies. So like Bayshore, Paramed. Again, a lot of like agencies are there which send the PSW or the caregivers to work for a family who need the care. So even those agencies can be your employer, but once again, you need to have a full-time job. They need to pay you properly. They need to get you 30 hours per week, and there should be a job security. If you go with any ABC kind of agency and they close down after 6 months, and if they're charging you the money to get you the offer letter and everything, if they close down, think about your money is gone and your PR is also gone.
Okay, that's good.
I hope I able to answer
Yeah.
that. It's a big discussion. Like technically, I had a lot of consultations, so I have tried to explain that. We are trying to make a video about it, but once again, we are talking about this whole information based upon the previous year applications. So that's why I'm still waiting to get that update on it. But now the point is, I think they will just post it like before 2 or 3 days, and then everyone start to rush on it,
Rush on the
and the portal will be crashed at the last. That's the usual thing with the CIC applications.
All right. Home care.
Once again, you need to have that training where you are giving one-on-one care. So if you did a social service worker from back home, I know for sure they have something called as internship where they have to work with the client, definitely. But in Canada, if you're doing a social service program, it depends upon whether you had a training period of 6 months at least, where it is a one-on-one care.
All right. Raikhan has an interesting question, which I feel a lot of people can relate to. Is he has mentioned he has got an offer letter with a supporting knock code of 44101, but but same job titles and everything, but it's mentioned as personal support worker.
That's fine.
Is that an issue?
No. So like I mentioned before also, as per the IRPA, Immigration Refugee Protection Act, it's very clear that the knock code is technically based upon your duties. So your employer can even call you as a caregiver, but you are working as a PSW. That comes under the 33102 because of your duties, what you perform. So even you're working as a PSW, if you're doing the duties under the 44101, definitely you're qualified, brother.
All right. She just said thank you, Vishnu, for answering the question. So, guys, put a thumbs up if your questions have been answered. Out. If you want to have a follow up, just text along while Vishnu was explaining. So we'll ask him directly as a follow up question. All right. Naveen has a question, Vishnu. Hey, I've done 6 months of experience in NOC 44101, and I do have full time job offer under the same NOC code. What are the documents I need?
Sorry.
A big question. Actually, the whole question is a follow up to the last question. Is that like he's under the 44101? But mainly the main concern is Vishnu, like the IRCC has not mentioned about anything about the documents what are required. So can you just brief us out on what are the, like if you can just brief like
Sure.
like it's been happening for the last couple of years, this whole program. So from the whole last 5 years of a whole summary of what all documents are like mandatory or you need to keep ready for the
Okay, let's go to the important part of the application process. Okay, so when you're putting this application, the few things which you definitely need to be with you. One is the reference letter from the employer. If you are showing that you already have an experience, the reference letter need to be having everything what a Canadian standard says, that your name, the wage you got paid, your duties from for how many hours you work full time, and the signing officer name and contact details. Second, you need to prove the T4 notice of assessment for the time period what you have worked there. That is called as the proving your experience. When you are looking into the education side, definitely you need to have your WES done. Again, if you're not done your WES, I always recommend every international student that if you are coming to Canada for studies, while studies, get two things done. One is the WES and second is your IELTS. Every time I tell this, and trust me, there are a lot of international students, even my clients, who don't respect that advice and they wait for something to come up and they say, sir, I missed that opportunity. I have a lot of clients who missed TR to PR options. So once again, WES is compulsory, but again, if you have a master's, you don't need to put that WES certificate. If you have a postgrad certificate program, you can try to put an explanation, but again, trust me, it may get refused because if CIC officer is not convinced that no, it is after 12th, you're looking into a refuser.
And what if someone completed, just to add on, what if someone completed 12th and came to Canada? Do they have to do a WES?
No, they don't, again, for 12th, they have to do it. So you can even do the WES for 12th.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So definitely that is requirement. But yeah, if someone did degree here, did a master's, then technically that is their highest qualification. They are avoid from doing the WES. So talked about reference letter, talked about the education. Third one is IELTS. You need to have a proper IELTS score of CLB4, which is like literally, I'm seeing some of the people not even getting that, the international students. Guys, CLB4, try to get CLB 8, 7 or 8 at least. Don't try to be just on the margin. Fourth one, you need to have your like a PCC done. Get your PCC. One thing which I would like to tell you is, if you are a family, you need a PCC for every individual above the age of 18. So don't just do the PCC for you, and if your husband or your spouse, if you have a dependent who's above the age of 18, don't have that kind of situation where they cannot able to accompany you in the application. So everyone need a PCC. Fourth one is your let me just look into, you need to have an offer letter. So for example, I talked about the reference letter. Offer letter is something which should be under the knock code of 44100 or 44101. Need to have a duties match with that. The employer has to specify that, okay, where the location, the working, okay, what is the wage, what's the title, what are the duties, and the signing officer. If it's a family, then the family can sign on it. Then try to keep your IMM form ready. That is, just now I told, IMM 5910. Keep that form ready and signed by your employer, because it's just an additional document over the offer letter what you're going to put. Next one, if you're going through a private family, keep one thing in mind. They need to either incorporate, or even if they are not incorporating the business they are doing as a family, then the notice of assessment or the CIC can ask for more documents to prove that they are financially, they are stable to offer you the employment. Now, the next thing is medicals. Very important thing. Medicals is not mandatory, but the CIC can ask for it. But if you did your medicals in past, if it's family, try to put medicals for everyone. Don't exclude that, or if your medical is already expired 5 years before, try to do the medicals. Don't wait for it. I know that a lot of people will say that, no, it's not a mandatory thing. I would say get that done. Don't get refused if you don't have a proper like a medicals. Next one is...
when you say, Vishnu, when you said WES for the 12th, I'm just asking follow-up questions. As you said, mentioned about documents. So what do you mean by WES for 12th?
So still the person can able to do the WES for 12th. So if someone came for a 2 year or 1 year of a postgrad diploma course, you can still able to do a WES for 12th. That, okay, all the documents need to go, and the CIC, like a WS, will give you a certification that, okay, it's considered as a high school degree or diploma, like high school equivalency.
Okay. And also that you mentioned PCC, is it from India or is it from Canada?
For every country, the particular individual has visited above the age of 18, stayed for more than 6 months. It can be one month, or it can be a long stretch of 6 months. which all country you have lived, you need to get the PCC.
Okay. And will there be an option like we have a question from Shiju who has asked, will there be an option like gaining experience stream?
It was there last year, possible. But like I said, this year, the two streams which the CIC has disclosed as of now. So last year, the streams were different. This year, the stream is different. Like I said, we are telling you about the documentation, the process, or the whole background history based upon the previous applications. Last year, yes, there was something called as a gaining experience stream. This year, there's only two streams. One is if inland application, one is outland application. Inland application, there is no further streams. Unfortunately, I don't think there would be a stream which is like gaining experience, because now, like I said, CIC not even looking for an experience now. They just need a 6 months of training or education, 2,750 application. And trust me, like I said, it will get filled very fast, or most probably the site will be crashed in few hours.
Like, think of the whole Canada just applying for this.
I will tell you reality which happened few months back. In Alberta, the opportunity stream, which was open, there was only around 4,000, 5,000 applications which they were accepting. 4,000, 5,000, okay? I just logged in just to see that what's a trend going on. And again, I was in different forums of the IRCC and lawyers. So when everyone was posting it, and there was almost 36, 38,000 people waiting for that.
Wow.
So think about it, only 4,000, 5,000. And surplus number of people were just waiting, and site was keep on crashing. Yes, later on, those people who got entered, the Alberta government reached them to make the application complete. They give that wise decision there. But it's very common that when they put a limited number of applications, the site cannot handle that. Because trust me, just from GTA itself, there would be more than, I would say, around like 40, 50,000 applications, because every person wanted to apply for this.
No, Vishnu, I'm just not even kidding. Like in the last 1 week, I at least got almost 40 to 50 calls just asking for this. Just 40 to 50 calls.
Like again, that's why I'm not coming in between to the application. When something is not possible, not possible. Let's make it very simple that put an application by yourself. Like I said, when the PNP used to be first come, first serve, I used to say the same thing. When I see the like anything which comes first come, first serve, like the opportunity stream, we try to give you guys information that, okay, how to do the application, because that is having a highest possibility that you can complete your application. Rather, if you try to put your application, and if it is like if you go through an agency and they have 3 applications and they did 1 application, if they don't able to log in for second and third application, your money is lost and you lost the opportunity. And that's why I'm recommending, please try to do the application by yourself. We will be coming up with a lot more lives and videos once we get more information that how you can do the application by yourself.
And one last follow-up for the documentation part, Vishnu. Like, we have a question from Jay Tom who has asked, like, the person has worked as if the person worked in cash or they got the payment as an e-transfer. Can they show like any documents to prove that they were employed, like a T4 or something like that?
So once again, when you say you paid in cash, when you say you got e-transfer, it's basically raises suspicion that you may not even get a T4. Because if you have a T4, your employer has to pay the payroll taxes. Once again, people work under the table and then they understand later on that, oh, that experience was good. Like again, the same scenario has happened with a lot of international students who used to work as a cook. So people used to work as a cook or as a side job. They never show that experience. They used to get cash money from the employers. And later on, as soon as the cook come, everyone is looking into, no, can I able to claim that point? But unfortunately, if you got paid under the table, which would be the direct statement which I would like to make, you're taking a lot of risk by putting that in. If you even make the T4 or you try to make other documents, if CIC looked into or CIC asked you for the bank statement and you cannot able to show that a proper amount which has to be deposited, you are looking into misrepresentation.
Okay, that's a whole lot of information about the documentation part. All right, guys, let's go to the next couple of questions. We have from... Oh no, I think I missed a couple of questions.
And thank you guys. Thanks a lot for those people who are putting question in the super chat. I hope we're able to answer your question. Try to give a thumbs up if you're getting your answer. If your answer is not there, please, there's limited time. That's why if you have something urgent, very necessary, go to super chat. Definitely will get answer. We will be there online for next 20 minutes more. Looking to take a lot more important questions. Please avoid putting the questions which is generic. we will be having live session some other time for that.
All right, Vishnu. Hey, so for the job offer letter, is it specific like IMM 5983? Also, one last question is the application portal open on 31st March only, or will it be open for more?
Yes, very good question. So now, let me make it very simple and very straightforward question. This portal will be only open on 31st of March. It can be open around 10 o'clock. Usually that's the time, but sometimes they open at 5 o'clock also. So the 31st of March, I know a lot of agents from outside Canada or inside Canada, or a lot of applicants will be having a sleepless night because it can open anytime. Once again, we can wait for the next update, mostly like 1 or 2 days before. The CIC usually put that by what time they will be opening the portal. You can keep all the documents ready, because if your documents are ready, at least you start filling the information and you start uploading the document. It will not take more than 20 to 30 minutes to complete one application. So if you are the one, definitely, like I said, the documents which I just mentioned, try to keep it ready. When next update will come, we will definitely have more information for you.
Okay, because we have a lot of repetitive questions like, I've done my degree in India and I've done a PGWP program, PSW. Do I need a VES? You want to give a one-word answer?
So you need to get VES for sure. If you did 1 or 2 year program, yes, you can put an explanation with if you have a postgrad certificate, but like I said, there is a higher chances that you may get a refusal. You need VES for everything. And again, let me make it very straightforward with you. Every international student or every CAN family member who is watching this, please, while you're studying, get your VES done. VES is good for 5 years. You are never going to get a 5 years of work permit. You're only getting 3 years of work permit. So even if you do the VES on the first year of your studies, still it is valid until your work permit is expiring. Second, anyhow, now the regulation is there that you need to do your IELTS, but try to study while you are, try to get your study for the IELTS while you're studying for your course, so that you are giving one time IELTS, CELPIP or PT for your postgraduate, and that is good for next 2 years. By doing these two, you don't need to rush at the last moment to get the documents, get the IELTS, because now even if you're looking into the IELTS, you may not able to find proper dates before 31st.
Okay. I know that there are a lot of people I've seen that they felt that this whole pilot program is an easier option for, or an easier stream for them to apply for PR. And there are people who have swapped the whole like a field from complete different, like let's say IT or something to do with business and all. And they've come into this IT field. So I have a question from Albin, who's even asked, like Albin Anthony has asked, like his background is not under healthcare, but he's been working in the home support work program for the last 7 months. Will he be eligible for that?
Again, if you have a good employer who is supporting with a job offer with 44101, third, you need to have experience. So again, if you are already having a 9 months or 7 months of experience, yes, you are eligible. But once again, Albin, look into it. Like just now you mentioned you are from back home, you're IT. If you have a degree, you have an experience.
That I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, but again, think about that. If you have a degree from back home, you have even 1 year of experience from there, working under 33102 or working under the 42201, 1 year in Canada. So 1 year of experience from back home, 1 year of experience within Canada, and having a degree can boost your score up to 505. That would be way more easier way to get into the healthcare pilot program, healthcare category-based express entry draw or CEC or express entry, rather than going with this option where if you show that CIC that, okay, you are working under the 44101, you cannot able to use that experience in express entry or PNPs where you need a higher title. Be little bit careful before you put an application.
All right, Vishnu, we have another super chat from Jeff. He has asked, hey Vishnu, should I apply for home care worker program or apply under OINP in-demand skill stream like the home support worker? I'm eligible for both.
Bingo. Jeff, right?
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. I would say this is something very good. Like now you have two options, and again, both the options, the knock code is same. So Jeff, for my recommendation for you would be, definitely you should try for both, because it's not like, okay, you're trying for express entry and the home care pilot program. You're trying to get in demand and the home care pilot program, which is basically same knock code. You need to look into what is your points in OINP in demand. You need at least around 35 points, to be very honest. 34 to 35 point is really good for the in demand. So if you are reaching to that level, I can give you a 98 to 99% guarantee that you will be getting invitation from the in-demand stream PNP. Once again, your score in in-demand ought to be around 34, 35 or more than that to get an invitation under the in-demand stream. If you're not meeting that, then only option will remain is the home care pilot program, which again, you can try for this, but try to do it by yourself, brother. Don't try to go with anyone else. You will do better application than any other immigration firm. Let me repeat it.
All right, Nebu has a follow-up super chat question, Vishnu. Do we need both reference letter and offer letter as well?
Yes. So the reference letter is something which is proving that you have a similar background experience, which is fulfilling the eligibility for this application. Whereas the offer letter is something which is showing that, okay, the employer is ready to give you a job under the 44101 or 44100. So now the difference between both is, for example, you are used to work under the 33102 knock code. So you are putting the reference letter for that, okay, I do have an experience under the healthcare. But now the offer letter is stating that you are getting an offer letter to work under the home care, like home care. So that is something the offer letter is serving. So offer letter is something to get you qualified under the particular stream, but the eligibility requirement is that 6 months of direct training or education, which you will fulfill using the reference letter. So both are important.
Okay, and we have another super chat from Deepu asking, is digital footprint applicable for PNPs as well?
Every application. So now, once again, I understand, okay, every international student really wanted to get a PR and you just wanted to look for all the option, but think about, when you're putting one application, look into all other possibilities around you. Because for example, when someone approached me even for a study permit or even for visitor visa from back home, we usually take their entire history, profile, education, experience, everything. Because now when we are submitting that first application to Canada, which can be visitor, which can be study, or which can be spousal open work permit, my motive is not always that, okay, just somehow just do the application. I always recommend them, I always guide them that, okay, if you are working as a site engineer, okay, can you look into if you can able to go under the construction manager? People ask that, okay, why it is needed? In spousal open work permit, even any job is fine.
Yeah.
But now the point is, I am recommending my client to look into that no code, because now if that particular individual can have a construction manager on a spousal open work permit, he come to Canada, even the experience what he have from back home can be used for his express entry and he can get a PR. I have proudly 7 clients last year who got PR during the spouse. The primary applicant was studying in Conestoga and the secondary applicant came on spousal open work permit. They were nurses from back home. They were from UAE. That was a group of nurses who came. Because they have a proper experience as a RN, they got into the human capital priority stream.
Okay.
And the 2 of them was not even working here. Others were working in some other field. Only 1 person was working as a PSW.
Oh, wow.
So it's very important that to understand when you're putting an application, it need to match with everything, because now before CIC give you PR or citizen, they literally do a background check on you like it's for the marriage. And if they find out that, okay, you're any health card or you put any government application with a different experience letter or title, why you wanted to take that kind of risk? So please avoid that. When you submit your application, you can create a profile, like I said. So again, off record, one thing, you can create PNP with different knock code, but please, if you are submitting the application, do it properly. That would be my recommendation to Nibu. Deepu. Hi, Deepu.
All right, we have another question, which I think is a lot of people are asking, Vishnu, should I just wait for either, like they've already applied for probably for the PNP? Like we have Boni Peter was asking, like they've applied in PNP in demand under the knock code 44101. So they are asking, like, do they have to stay with the pilot? Do they need to apply for the pilot program, or should they wait for the PNP?
Boni. Hi, Boni. Very important for you, brother. You don't even need to worry. Do one thing. If your work permit is about to expire, call the OINP and tell them that, okay, my work permit is about to expire. Let me tell you one of the small tip there. OINP, if it is a non-express entry based PNP you are submitting, which is like international student, foreign worker, or in demand, you have a request, you can able to put a request, formal request in appeal, which say that, okay, I would like to have my application having a decision faster because my work permit is expiring. If it is the express entry base, CIC, like OINP is not giving that kind of recommendation. The processing time is around 6 to 8 months. But if it is non-express entry based, like you said that you already applied for the PNP in demand, what my recommendation would be, call them on Monday, but also go to a web form and raise a web form saying that my work permit is about to expire. If your work permit is about to expire by this date, I would like to have my decision faster so that I can get my work permit extension, I can continue work. Definitely you should avoid going with this particular program because one, the probability is very low. You are spending a lot of money and everything, like the stress level what you might be having, that okay, no, I need to do this application. And second thing is, you already in a very safe zone, so try not to take a place of other person who's do not even have any other pathway. So because of these two reasons, I would strongly recommend, if you already have an application submitted, you should raise a web form and you should try to call the OINP and you should be receiving your PNP approval. Drop a text message once you receive your PNP approval. I will be very happy to see that.
All right, we have a question from Princey, which I think is a little, like, pretty good question. So it's like she's not working as a full-time employee, but she's having at least 35 hours on a weekly basis of work time, right? And now that when she asked her employer for a full-time offer letter, they said they wouldn't give her one, but they can mention the position and how many hours she's working in the week. Will that be?
Sorry, Princey, you are eligible from the criteria wise. Okay, what where they're asking that okay, you need to have a 6 months of experience or training. Yes, you are, but that offer letter will not work because it's very specific to that. One, it has to be full time, it has to be paid, and third one is it has to be not contract unconditional. So unfortunately, your employer is not there, who is not ready to give you full time. You cannot able to use that offer letter. Sorry for that.
All right, Eben Pius has a question. Hi, I'm on long-term care under is the long-term care come under the NOC code 44101 as a PSW?
Okay, now the point is, Abhin Pais, I believe you are already our client. It's very familiar name for me. So Abhin, unfortunately, like I already might have told you during the consultation and during the sign-up also, the NOC code is based upon the duties. So yes, the 4410 like 44101 can go under health, like a group home, agencies, long-term care, nursing home, even in hospitals. But now the point is that for that we need to look into the duties of you. If your duties falls under the 44101, then yes, definitely it will work.
All right, Srinivas has a question. I have a family who is ready to support me with a childcare worker and I'm PSW certified. Can I get an email of a letter and pay through check, cash or Interac?
Okay, so now let's go a little bit in an explanatory way. In Canada, the employer can pay you in any ways. He can pay you cash, he can do e-transfer, he can do check, he can do direct deposit, he can do demand draft, okay? But now the point is, the employer has to pay the payroll taxes before he even pay you the money. So like I said, if it's a family, yes, they can able to pay you cash or e-transfer any other way, but they first have to enroll the CRA for the employer so that they can able to pay the taxes for you, and then rest of the payment they can do a e-transfer or cash. I hope I able to give you an answer properly.
So for this particular program, you are supposed to have at least 6 months of work experience, right?
No work experience mandatory. If you have a 6 months of training or education related to healthcare, it's good. If not, then yes, 6 months of experience is good.
Because we have Artira who has asked that she completed her DSW program in December and she started working as a home support worker from Feb full-time onwards, and she's also been working 3 weeks of training. Am I eligible for this?
Yeah, DSW, you did DSW again. It need to have a 6 months training directly to have a caregiving. If that is there, yes, you are qualified. Experience doesn't even matter. If your employer is ready to give you an offer letter, so for example, a person is there who did nursing from back home. He did BSW course here. He have no full-time job, but there is an employer who's ready to offer an offer letter under the 44101. The person is eligible.
Okay. And Eben has a follow-up question as well. Like how much? I think a lot of people has the same question. What is the waiting time for this particular program? Like if they start applying and if their work permit is expiring in 2026 or 2027, let's say, how long should they be expecting or waiting for the approval?
Let me just make a simple comment, okay? Except express entry, you go through any application, it considered as a paper-based application. The processing time varies from 1.5 years to 3 years. I have clients from 2022 who are still waiting to get a decision. That was an outlined application. But inside application 2022, I have 2 applications which is still under the process.
From 2022?
To 2022. Okay. 2023, there was like little bit like that was a COVID time. After COVID, that was the application delay. Some of the applications were literally buried.
Okay.
2023, the application which was submitted again, I am seeing a little bit of a mixed review because from 2023 onwards, we are not taking any of the applications. But my colleagues who did the application, they said that yes, the application is still under the process. So it's 2025. So it's around now almost 1.5, 2 years. 2024, those applications which were submitted, definitely there is no answer on yet. It's still under the process. So if you're going through this particular program, you need to make your mind, it's a long-term process which can take up to 1.5 to 2.5 years to get entire PR process. And again, in 2024, the regulation was, okay, you get direct PR. So you land, you directly get a PR, but there was a condition written that, okay, you have to work under the same employer. On some of the work permit or some of the PR condition was, you can only work under the particular knock code. So that means, yes, they got the PR directly, but they have a condition there that they have to work in a particular knock code or particular sector only for 2 years. Because by the time they apply for their PR renewal, I got one case like that, where the person got a work permit, like came to Canada from Philippines, applied for the childcare worker program, got a work permit, 2-year condition, and then they get the PR also. While they get PR, they got it somehow. But while they applied for a citizenship, now the Provincial Fairness Letter came that you have to prove that you have completed number of hours for 2 years. So once again, you need to be a little bit careful that you are working with CIC. They can look into CRA. They can look into your employer. So if everything is good, you're good to go.
All right, Vishnu, to the last 10 minutes.
Yes, please.
Okay. People are hungry. We are hungry. I mean, I'm hungry. That's the main reason why we have to wrap it up. It's a Saturday, guys, and it's a beautiful weather outside. So
Oh, it's a family time.
and we'll make sure we'll wrap it up so you guys can spend time with your family, go out. All right, we have another super chat from Naveen. Can you still apply if you have applied for PCC and waiting for it?
You can, but let me tell you one thing. In express entry, still, as per the IRPA, as per the express entry real policies, which says that while you're submitting an application, you need to input all the application properly. So there is nothing like you just put an explanation letter. But after COVID, what we have seen is there is some sudden public policy came which say that, okay, you can include the explanation letter for the PCC. You don't need to do the biometric again on some of the work permit or study permit applications. You don't need to do the medicals again for the PR application. But once again, when you're looking into this particular application, I would say don't leave any gray area. If you have a PCC, which you've done like long back, if you're not traveled, it's still valid. Include that. If you have a PCC, but you have traveled, but you have now applied, but you're waiting for it, yes, you can try putting that explanation letter. But once again, every regulation is different. So let me give you a common example. If we are applying for a PNP based PR application, it is mandatory to have a PCC application ready. If the PCC approval is not there, application will be considered incomplete. When we are considering an express entry application, yes, the explanation will work. But this pilot program, I'm putting more towards a paper-based application where it is having more chance that if you did not invest or if you don't have a proper documentation, immediately they will just refuse their application. And PCC is definitely one of the most important piece of document.
Okay, we have another super chat from Life in Canada, but he forgot to add the question. But I think I was just going through the chat above, and he had asked this question. So I believe this is the question that you wanted to ask. But if it was, you can just ask below. I'll follow up.
Hi, Life in Canada. Nice.
Life in Canada. It's beautiful. Okay, can you explain what is an eligible employer as mine is an agency? You can just give like an eligibility criteria for an employer.
Okay, eligibility criteria for the employer. If it is a family, like I said, their family income need to be met. Where, other than that, if you look into the family, like family income for a family of 4, you can able to find that in the CIC website. On top of that, there need to be at least 30 to 40,000 gap. Last year it said that 80,000 family income, but 80,000 family income is if there is only 3 people. But if there is more than that, you need to surpass that. If it is an agency. Now, coming directly to your question, that if it is a Bayshore, if it is a Paramed, if it is the big agencies, you don't even need to worry about that. Definitely, they are fulfilling the requirement. They are qualified for PNP, AIP, any other process. So they are definitely qualified for this also. But if it's the agency which is very small, like it's just recently started, now you need to look into their financial statement that whether the agency is good. And one thing which I have noticed is there are agencies right now which is started in the Brampton, Mississauga area, which is now literally, I cannot say scamming, but it is like, it is those agencies which is just trying to get you under the 33102 knock code somehow. So they get you the education and they try to put you under the particular knock code. They somehow run the pay stub or they somehow just put you somewhere so that you can able to get the experience to qualify. Try to be away from those kind of agency. If agency is renowned, good, you take the offer letter, you are good to go, brother.
Yes, we have a super chat from Aman. I work with a child and youth support worker and an EA,
Early childhood educator.
EA. Okay, educator. I can also get the job offer letter. Can I apply with my Canada diploma for the home care worker?
Okay, so now if you have a proper education, yes, you can, because you go under 44100 knock code, taking care of a child. But once again, you need to look into the duties of 44100 knock code. You have to match with that. Your employer has to be credible, like I said, financially, and if it is renowned, then you don't need to worry. You can able to apply under this program.
Okay, pretty much wrapping it up, Vishnu. Couple of small questions. Would a manager is a manager in a group home setting eligible for this pilot program?
No, that's a white collar job. It is not. If I missed any of the, if we cannot able to give some of the comments, kindly once we put the live, go below the live session and you can able to put it the comment there. I will try to give an answer whenever I get time. Usually all the comments on our YouTube or Instagram are always answered. Don't worry.
So last questions, Vishnu. Okay, I wish I could. India app home support worker from Canada, but Punjabi IELTS karne parega bahut paisa milega. Okay. You want to read the Hindi?
कहाँ पर है? इंडिया में होम केयर वर्कर फ्रॉम कनाडा बट पंजाब IELTS करना पड़ेगा तो बहुत पैसा मिलेगा. It is sarcasm or it is real question?
I don't know.
So again, इंडिया से अगर होम केयर किया है तो डेफिनेटली इट विल वर्क. तो अगर मान लो यार आपने अगर इंडिया से नर्सिंग किया है या फिर 6 महीने के जो नैनी केयर प्रोग्राम्स इंडिया में होते हैं 6 महीने का, अगर आपने वो भी किया तो भी आप क्वालिफाई करते हो. बट अगेन यू स्टिल नीड टू हैव एन एम्प्लॉयर इन कैनेडा. तो आपको एक एम्प्लॉयर चाहिए कनाडा में जो आपको सपोर्ट करेगा. अगर एप्लीकेंट कनाडा के बाहर है, वो वाला एप्लीकेशन अभी तक ओपन नहीं हुआ है, इट विल ओपन. सो वन इट्स ओपन यू कैन एबल टू अप्लाई. बट अगेन ये आई सी पंजाबी टच टू दैट. तो पाजी ना भाई, पैसा दे के मत करना, लुट जाओगे. एंड अगेन देयर इज नो गारंटी दैट द पर्सन विल सपोर्ट यू अंटिल द PR. सो बी वेरी केयरफुल.
So we'll just ask as a rapid fire quick question round.
So last few minutes,
Okay,
Instagram, we
there's
got some of the
Instagram.
question.
Okay, that's Instagram. All right, let's go. Okay, what is an employer's eligibility? You had
We covered
mentioned.
already.
Is the employer if the employer can change after applying this program? For example, if the client died.
Not a good scenario, but yes, if it's through agency. Sorry to hear. अबे हंसा मत कर.
Sorry.
Not laugh. Okay.
No, okay, sorry.
Okay. So
No, it's a good example, but
Yeah,
the
so-
way he framed the question is just, he just framed it funny. That's why.
but no, if it is an agency and your client is changed, that is fine. But if it is a private home and unfortunately this kind of incident happened, you have higher chances to lose your PR application.
Okay, what about outside Canada applicants? They will get chance in this 2750 seats?
No, that is going to be open later on. This 2750 is only for this particular application, which will be opening on 31st of March. The outland application is yet to open, and yet we are waiting for the information. So please avoid the rumors. कोई भी आपको कुछ भी बोल रहा है, आर इंग्लैंड पारेनो, don't listen to them. Just wait. No information is there. If any information comes, definitely we will post a detailed video or we will do another live.
Are the invitations given on the basis of first come, first serve or based on points?
First come, first serve. There is no point system. This is 100% based on first come and first serve.
Okay, I have a family who is ready to hire me as a childcare worker. Can this be done for this pilot program?
Possible if they meet the financial requirement.
Okay, 2 different knock codes in same organization makes issues or not?
Depending upon which one is a full-time and are you getting a full-time job offer from now onwards.
DSW support worker eligible or not? Organization is ready to support.
DSW, again, DSW can go under the 42201 knock code. It can go under, some of the DSW even go under the 33102 knock code. Sometime it comes under the 44101 knock code also. So again, depending upon your knock code duties, depends.
Okay. Tell us about the negative aspects of this home care worker
Scam.
pilot program.
Scam. A lot of people who are contacting a lot of agencies which are promising that, okay, this is the only way to get a PR. They are losing their hard-earned money behind the false assurances that they will get it. A lot of agencies, especially from Gujarat, Punjab and Haryana, I'm seeing that the agencies are charging a token amount, like it's like 25,000, 50,000. By saying that, okay, we look for an employer and we will put an application. Technically, they took, like one of the agency from Gujarat, particularly the few clients who approached me recently, a group which said that we approached this agency after seeing your video, we want to do an application by ourselves. We all paid 25,000. So think about, if they paid 25,000 Indian rupees, 10 clients, that agency might have made 2,50,000 around. And do you think that those, then they don't even have an employer? The agency just told that, okay, they will find an employer when they pay 25,000. So avoid, and this is a scam. If you have an employer, you fulfill the requirement, put an application by yourself, how you do for the post-grad open work permit.
All right. I have a full-time job offer, but not enough hours.
Not gonna work.
Not gonna work. Okay. I'm working as a DSP in CARES Disability Services, 30 plus hours. Am I eligible for this?
Again, if the knock code is proper, you're getting an offer letter, you're fulfilling all the requirement, you have a document, yes, you are.
Are the students who are working as home support workers eligible for applying under this program?
Again, if your knock code is falling under 44101, definitely you will be. Even though your previous experience is not under the 44101, still you're qualified.
And how much is the government fee for this application?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Need to wait. Like I said, like the government fees, the wage, particular list of the documents, like exactly what they needed, and a lot of information still need to be there. This live session was to make understand that how the previous years the application was, so that you, before you pay someone based upon the partial information, you can just ask them the questions.
So a student who's graduating from PSW, can they apply for this pathway?
Yes, you can, if you have a proper employer who can able to support.
Can I apply for both express entry and this pilot program simultaneously and stick to express entry without restrictions if accepted?
No, it is not possible, because now in express entry you need a tier 0, 1, 2, 3. In pilot program you need tier 4. How you can manage tier 4 and tier 3 job? So not possible.
Okay. Do I need to remain in the same knock code for 2 years even if I already have the 2 years of experience?
Yes, you need to. So the conditions start from the time the employer give you the offer letter. So after that till 2 years, you have to be there for 2 years with them. Previous experience doesn't matter. Upcoming 2 years, at least you need to be with them until PR for sure.
And so Deep, who has applied for the OINP under International Student Job Offer Stream, under the knock code 33102, does it affect if he applies for the home care support program?
No, you can apply. If the employer is ready to give you under the different knock code under the 44101, definitely you can apply. But bhai, क्यों apply कर रहे हो? You're already getting a PNP International Student Job Offer Stream. Decision नहीं आ रहा है. Contact the OINP, get your decision, apply for PR. That is way more faster than going behind this. And please, you already have one option. Don't take an option from someone who don't even have anything. Just my recommendation, rest up to you.
Do we need to have full-time 6 months of experience?
Like we have mentioned, not needed if you have education or training.
All right, and the last question, Vishnu, are they going to open a portal at a given time? How are they going to accept the applications?
So yes, so it's same like how the PR application. So I like the PR portal. So if you can Google PR portal, that is the same one where you need to submit all the paper-based application. That's the same portal through which you have to submit the this home care pilot program application to. If you know any kind of a PNP application when it goes to a PR, that is the same portal where this application also need to be submitted. That portal is not yet open, so you have to wait. Once the portal will open, once the portal will add the tab, then you can able to do a submission.
And that's a wrap for today. All right, guys, I hope this live session was informative. I mean, for me, there was a lot of eye-opening facts that I got to know, especially with the like if what if the employer, like, because a lot of people are like have plans to apply for this, but they're not looking for they're not future proofing their application. What if the employer just stops this application all of a sudden? How it's going to affect their application? There's a lot of things that I was able to like my eyes opened up. So I hope this information, like all these information, the whole live was informative for you guys. So if you have anyone, I'm just letting you guys that if you have anyone who is planning to apply for this particular program and you know that they are going forward for this for sure, make sure you send this live to them. It's just gonna be 1 hour, but they can at least skip through, get a basic idea, have an idea of what are the expectations, from an employment's point of view, employees point of view, what are the eligibility criteria, timeline, everything one by one, so that they can be prepared, because there's just 2 more weeks left for this application to happen. So that's everything. That's all that we have. That's all.
Once again, this is non-express entry based PNP sort of format is going on. You can look into the documentation on that, look into the previous. Commitment is very important. I'm seeing a lot of agents, a lot of immigration firm not talking about the negative side about it. So if you have a genuine employer, go with that. Otherwise, just wait for the updated information. When we have more information, we are definitely going to post a video on this, and we will be definitely doing a live before this application open. If we get more information, you can expect one more live. So don't forget to like our channel, subscribe, because we will be coming back, and we really want to make Canadian immigration simple and easy for every CAN family member.
All right, we're bringing the consultations, what happens in our consultations calls, to your rooms and to your houses. I hope this was informative and it was helpful.